Now, we've been doing, we digress a little bit, we'll come back to more action for country racing very shortly, but we've been having the Jericho series, Turf, which you've done a hell of a job producing and voicing, more importantly, but getting the information out of our guests. And today, as part of the Jericho series, we talk about a leading figure on the Eastern Front in World War I, Henry Chauvel.
The death of one man is a tragedy. The death of millions is a statistic. The haunting words of Joseph Stalin remind us that throughout history, many leaders have treated human life with contempt, consigning war to merely a game of numbers. General Henry Chauvel represents one such exception. An ideas man who always kept a cool head, Chauvel showed poised leadership in the face of reckless enthusiasm for blood and battle. Harry Chauvel, a famous figure in what we've been discussing here this afternoon. Tell us about the race.
Well, the race is 2,000 metres, so that starts in front of the stand at Warrnambool, so a nice good staying test. And
might be a nice lead up to Warrnambool Cup about 5 months later.
Well, that's right, that's right. So the track will be nice and firm, so it'll be good racing.
And Harry Chauvel himself, Bill, plays a prominent role in Australian military history.
Yeah, he was sensational. As I said, we spoke earlier that he was the person that led them, and they would follow him anywhere. Now, I just want to read to you something I'll read out. It's from an official Australian historian, Henry Gullett. You'd love to have this on your CV, fair dinkum. Chauvel was no hard-riding gambler against odds, always cool and looking far enough ahead to see the importance of any particular fight in its proper relation to the war as a whole. He was brave enough to break off an engagement if it promised victory only at what he considered an excessive cost to his men and horses. He fought to win, but not at any price. He sought victory on his own terms. And this is the last bit that really gets you. He always retained, even in heated moments of battle, when leaders are often careless of life, a very real concern for the lives of his men and his horses.
Yeah, it's pretty poignant because what we've learned over the years has been, say, the contempt for human life, but maybe that's an apt description of what it was.
Oh, the whole, war, it's just cannon fodder. Guys, the Australian light horse lost, when I heard this figure, I thought this can't be right. 1,674 light horsemen were killed in the First World War. Like they were killed in a night in France. That's got to be wrong, but everybody keeps telling him, no, that's right. Because he didn't, he wouldn't go in and use them as cannon fodder. He's looking after them. And they responded to him. That's why they were so good.
Something about this Australian storytelling, Matt, that I think you're embracing, aren't you?
Oh, John, this is why we're involved. It's the horse racing, and I know it's your passions, but for us it's not about the races. It's about the stories behind the races. About these are Chauvel and these are legendary Australian figures that people need to know about. They're part of our culture. They're part of our heritage. This is storytelling that needs to be told. Just bloody brilliant to hear it.
It is going to be a really unique race day when you think about it, because it is not actually about the racing. It is about telling of these stories, and each race being named after a character. And so you just want to get people there at Warrnambool and to be breathing in what we're talking about today. And it isn't about which horse is going to win. It's about celebrating the day.
That's a really good point, the art of storytelling, somewhat a dying art, but Jericho Cup Day at Warrnambool on December 2 is about the stories as well as the racing turfie. That was an outstanding piece on Henry Chauvel.
Don't underestimate the importance of this meeting in December too, just as an educational piece, just to help young Australians and all Australians really actually hear other sides to the story of Gallipoli and what went on in the Middle East.
December 2 at the Warrnambool Race Club.